Jungle.
Assalamualaikum and welcome to tonight's special report, Culture Meets Meat. As the world seeks more sustainable and ethical food sources, the rise of lab-grown or culture meat is creating buzz. What once a scientific curiosity is now becoming a serious contender in the global food industry. Tonight, we will hear from experts across various fields, chefs, scientists, historians, and also philosophers to discuss the culture, environmental, and ethical impact of this new food revolution. Let's begin with our first segment, a forum discussion that brings together three experts, which is chef forum, scientists, and historians. They will be debating the future of culture meat and what it means for their respective fields.
Today we are honored to bring together two esteemed experts, Chef AUNI and scientist SHAZA. They will be discussing an important and timely topic, the future of culture meat and its application for their respective fields. Let's begin with you, Chef AUNI. From a culinary perspective, what do you see as potential of culture meat?
Thank you for the opportunities to let me talk about my perspective regarding this issue. So as a chef, I'm always looking forward to create new dining experience to be more exciting. With this lab-grown meat is actually an exciting development that I can say it ensures our food security with its sustainability, the ethics, and also it enhances our culinary creativity. So this also offers a way where there is no need for the traditional farmings, as well as reducing our environmental impact. For the attributes of the cultured meat, if there is a control or a standard that focus only on the texture, flavor, or taste, or maybe nutritional values such as fat content, it will be more better. Since let's imagine that we have a whole cut like steak with the same attribute as the traditional meat, with its juicy characteristic, but with more healthier way, like reduced fat content. So of course, I guarantee that this will be the best choice and the most chosen from the consumers.
Thank you, Chef AUNI. Now, scientist Tasnik, could you provide us with an overview of scientific process behind culture meat and its benefits?
Thank you to the moderator for giving me the opportunity. So, scientifically, culture meat is produced by taking a small sample of animal cells which are then nurtured in a bioreactor for cell cultivation. Over time, these cells grow and form muscle tissues, just like conventional meat, but without the need for large-scale livestock farming. This could significantly reduce our reliance on animal agriculture, helping combat climate change, reduce land use, conserve water, and also reduce carbon footprint. Scientists estimate that cultured meat could reduce emissions by up to 96% and land use by 99%. So scientists emphasize that this addresses urgent climate change challenges by mitigating the environmental footprint of meat production. So cultured meat also uses less feedstock compared to traditional meat production, where large quantities of crops are required to feed the livestock. So how do we do cultured meat? So in lab-grown or cultured meat, the primary tissue produced is by using the muscle tissue, as it constitutes the majority of the edible portion of meat. So the muscle tissue will be the primary focus as it is the main component of meat, providing the structure, protein content, and much of the texture. Not only that, there are also another cell types of the muscle cell that we'll be using, like myocytes and precursor cells, like myoblasts or satellite cells that are cultivated and differentiated into mature muscle fibers.
Thank you, scientist Tasnik. Now, Chef AUNI, what challenge do you encounter when working with culture meat, and how might this challenge be addressed?
As for the challenge, of course there is challenge, especially in new development. So the main concern is about the consumer acceptance, since it is difficult to create the exact same characteristics such as traditional meat, which is texture, flavor, taste. However, I believe that with today's development in our technology, we can enhance and boost this characteristic to be more better in the future. So I'm as a chef myself, I take the responsibility to use my skill to create more dishes using this lab-grown meat to be more delicious and more healthier to attract the consumer's attention.
And Scientist Tasneem, what are the challenges associated with scaling up culture meat for mass production?
There are challenges in scaling up production. So producing a lab-grown meat on a large enough scale to be commercially viable is a challenge for a scientist to produce the cultured meat. So in small labs, scientists can successfully culture cells and create small quantities of meat, but translating this into large-scale production requires bioreactors, bioprocess optimization, and efficient use of resources. Not only that, there are also some challenges in integration of tissues in lab-grown meat, like muscle and fat integration. So cultured meat products are focusing on muscle tissues, but also need fat tissue to replicate the texture, juiciness, and flavor of real meat. However, in real-life application, there are also another company that has adapted to this cultured medium, like a lab farm, which are working on creating whole cut stick products that include muscle, fat, and connective tissues to create a more complete and realistic product of cultured meat.
Thank you, Chef AUNI and Scientist Tasneem, for sharing your valuable insight and expertise with us. Your perspective have shed light on the fascinating potential of cultured meat. And we will now proceed to our next segment.
Now, we will move to our next segment that turn a more philosophical perspective. How does the rise of lab-grown meat fit into our ethical frameworks and our evolving relationship with nature? To discuss this, we spoke with philosopher.
Assalamualaikum. Today I will explore about Islamic perspective on culture.
أيها الناس كلوا مما في الأرض حلالا طيبا ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين.
Quran provide clear instruction about consuming halal and tayyib food. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 168, Allah says, "Eat from whatever is on earth that is lawful and good." This verse emphasizes that our food must be both lawful and wholesome, ensuring its source and process comply with Islamic principles. In Hadith, Allah is pure and accept only what is pure. This Hadith highlights that the purity and permissibility of what we consume affect our physical and spiritual well-being. For culture meat to be halal, 3 key conditions must be met. Firstly, the source. The cell must come from a halal animal such as cow or chicken, and if necessary, the animal must be slaughtered according to Islamic guidance. Secondly, the growth medium. The medium used to grow the cell must be free from haram substance like alcohol or porcine enzyme. Thirdly, the process. The entire process must avoid contamination with haram elements.
So how should we, in Islamic jurisprudence, in fatwa formulation, treat something which looks familiar? Because what ends up on the plate is a piece of meat, yet it is fundamentally different. It did not grow in the bodies of livestock, in cows and sheep and chicken. When should we apply well-established principles and rules, and when do we have to think afresh? So the committee decided that it is permissible, it is halal, to consume lab-cultivated meat, whose cells are from animals that are halal or permissible in Islam, and whose final ingredients do not contain any non-halal components.
Some accept culture meat as halal if these conditions are met, while others suggest that more research and fatwas are needed to ensure its permissibility.
Thank you, philosopher, for the interesting facts. The ethical debates surrounding culture meat are only just beginning. Now, let's see what the general public thinks.
We spoke with a member of the public to hear their thoughts on culture meat. Here's what they had to say. Let's go, follow me. Excuse me, we are conducting a survey. Do you have time? Yeah, sure. What's your opinion on culture meat?
It's like a meat grown in a lab without slaughtering animals.
I'm still not sure what to think about it. I think it's an interesting idea and I love the idea of reducing animal harm. But is it going to taste the same? Is it safe? I think I need to try it myself before making a decision.
Fair enough. Taste is important after all. Then, would you consider lab-grown meat ethical compared to traditional meat production?
Yes, I've heard a lot about this issue. I think lab-grown meat can be considered as more ethical than traditional meat production as it reduces animal slaughter and minimises environmental harm. However, it also raises concerns about creating life in lab for food. But I think as long as this lab-grown meat meets halal requirements for Muslim, it could be a positive and ethical choice.
Oh, I see. Thank you, Miss, for your time.
Tonight, we have seen that cultured meat is not just a scientific breakthrough, but it's a culture shift. This technology has the potential to reshape our food system and refine our relationship with meat. That concludes our special report. Thank you for watching, and we will continue bring to you updates on this important issue. Salam.
Audio Jungle.